So for today, we are going to discuss on 2019 Spmrsm Earth as a Sphere question. It's pretty easy, so just follow the step-by-step given. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so now what we first need to do is read the question, of course. So it's given that P, so we have P 25 degree north, 70 east, Q 25 degree north, 50 degree east. Then we have R and V. Then it's given that R is due south from P and PV is the diameter of the Earth. Okay, so now let's rewrite again. So we have P, which is 25 degree north and 70 degree east. Q, 25 degree north and 50 degree east. So as we can see, P is further east compared to Q. Okay, so that is very important. And then we have R is due south from P and PV is the diameter of the Earth. So basically, our diagram would look like, so we have the Earth. Okay, so now we have P and Q. So since they share the same parallel latitude, which is 25 and 25, so P and Q situated both on the same latitude. So this is, we have 25 degree north. So we need to put the location of P, which is to the further east, which is P here. So our longitude here is 70 degrees. That is pretty important because we have PV is the diameter of the Earth. Then we know this is the center of the Earth, so it passed through the center. Then we have here is our V. Then R is due south from P, so we know that R is somewhere to the south. Let's say it is here. It's just our random guess. And we have Q, which is somewhere be to the west of Q of P. Alright, then so let's get started. So we have now, let's solve for A. Okay, so we have latitude of V. Okay, so latitude, so we know that when the location is the diameter, so they share the same amount, 25, but now the direction is now become south. That is our latitude. But if we're speaking about the location itself, so we know that it is definitely 25 degrees south. It's just the direction change, and the longitude must be 180 minus the longitude of P, which is 70. That gives us 110, and the direction change, that is west. Easy peasy. That is A. So that gives us 2 marks. Easy 2 marks because the first mark is 25 degree and the direction is the second marks. So then we have P2. Next, so the question B. So it's given that P to R measured along the meridian. So our keyword here is along the meridian. So once we see that it's along the meridian, so we know that it is theta times 60. So we know that distance, which is 2580, is theta times 60. So now we need to calculate the value of theta. So simply press your calculator. So 2580 divided by 60, that gives us 43 degrees. Now, so we know that P to the R measured along the meridian, meaning they share the same longitude, and R is located due south. So our common sense is, so we know that P here from the equator here is 25 degree and 43 is supposed to be further south. So that is R just, oops. So that is further R just now. So now R is here somewhere. And here is our theta, which is 43. So how do we calculate the longitude? So longitude is 43 minus 25. So we have 18 degree. And what about the direction? Is it still north? No, it's now become at south. Because 43 is greater than 25. That's why our direction changed. Because 43 theta is greater than our latitude, hence our direction change. Alright, so let's get to C. Calculate the shortest distance. So our key point here is shortest distance. Another R to V measured on the surface of the earth. Okay, so once you see the word of shortest distance, it is theta times 60 again. So it say R to V. Okay, so we know we want to calculate using theta 60. So meaning, as we can see, so R is somewhere here. So we have R here, and as you can see, it's from equator. Now it becomes 18 degree south, while V is 25 degrees south. Here is 25 degree. So our theta is somewhere here. So the plane is actually flying along here. Right? So now how do we calculate the distance? So again, distance is theta times 60. So then we know that our straight line is 180. So 180 minus 18 minus 25, 10 times 60. So in 1 minute, you'll get 8,220 nautical miles. So that is our C. Simple. Lastly, our question for D. So, an aeroplane took off from Q. Can I do it here? It will be easier. Okay, so took off from Q. So we see our Q is here. Took off from Q and then flew due east to P and then flew due south to R. So the average speed of the airplane for the whole flight is 710. So that is our information. And we need to find the total time. Okay, so we know that average speed is total distance divided by total time. So we already have our average speed from Q to P. We calculated that one before. So Q to P, oh, we haven't calculated that one yet. So that's why we have 5 marks. So we need to calculate from Q to P first. So now we see the key point again now is due east. So once you see the word due east, so we know that our distance is theta times 60 times cos cos la. I always tell my students remember to memorize by cos la. So here is latitude, what they share the same, while theta is our longitude. Okay, so now focus. So our longitude is 70 degrees and 50 degrees. So our difference there is 70 minus 50 times 60 times cos la, which is the same latitude, cos 25. Then don't forget that your calculator must be in mode degree. So 20 times 60 times cos 25. Easy peasy. Don't forget your answer need to be at least 2 decimal places. So we have 1087.569. I always take extra before my final answer. So then P2R we already have 2580. So we know that our triangle, magic triangle since our lower form, so speed is distance over time. So we want to find time. So time is total distance divide speed. So our total distance now is 1087.569 plus 2580 divide average speed given, which is 710. So plus 2580 divide 710. So that gives us 5.17 hours. So that's it. That is our easy 12 marks. So let me just highlight in a few minutes where are the marks. So for A, I've shown you before. For B, so 3 marks is 1 here. When you know how to apply the formula distance, then you have the degree right and the direction right. So that one is N1, if I'm not mistaken. C, shortest distance is only 2 marks. So you just need to apply the formula, which is K1. Your final answer is N1. And lastly, 5 marks here. So when you're using cos latitude, so definitely there will be 3 marks. So you know this is where cos 25, that is our first mark. And you know to apply 70 minus 50 and the whole thing, that is another K1. And your final answer here. Then you'll have here, so you know that you need to add up. And you need to know the distance need to be divided, and then there you go, your final answer. So altogether 12 over 12. So who said Earth is hard? You just need to know where the keywords are and everything will just go simple. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you.